Hiya! More live action Whisper with more rambles. I want to talk about some of the more, smaller changes that happens. I will have a video on Indiscriminate Carnage as well as Sudden Demise and Exsanguinate, but as of right now, Exsanguinate's being a little bit weird, and I want to see what happens with these first. So those will come later. We'll have full separate videos for those, but I want to just cover a lot of the smaller changes, especially revolving around AoE. So Venomous Wounds got buffed from 6 to 8, so baseline without anything, your energy will be higher in most content. That's just a flat change. This cut to the chase elaborate planning choice node is interesting. It's a little bit of a contentious one. People don't like it that much, but elaborate planning here is really good, and it would mean that you would need to cast Slice and Dice in AoE. Then there's the change to the Fan of Knives talents here. So we have Thrown Precision and Flying Daggers, the same as before. Thrown Precision used to be 15% flat damage and a little bit of crit chance. Now instead, it's fully leaned into the crit strike part of it. So now it does 10% increased critical strike chance up from 5, and its critical strikes always apply weapon poisons. Keep that in mind, it'll be important when I get farther down the tree. Flying Daggers took the 15% damage that Thrown Precision had. So now it's 15% flat and an additional 15% when striking 5 or more targets. So in big AoE, this is your big Fan of Knives buffer. If you have a smaller dungeon with a lot of cleave, you might actually want to not take this. But of course, numbers will tell, and we'll see how that works out. Crimson Tempest got a pretty big change, but it's not actually as interesting as people think. It's just kind of a minor thing. Instead of spamming Crimson Tempest, now it's just a bleed, and it deals extra damage when multiple enemies are afflicted, up to 100%. The thing to know about this is that dealing extra damage when multiple enemies are afflicted only starts at 2. So, reading it carefully, it doesn't do extra damage if there's not multiple enemies. So if you cast this in single target, you won't get anything. But when multiple targets are afflicted, it increases by 20% per target. So at 2 targets, you'll have 40%. 1 target, you have 0. 2 targets, you have 40. And then 3, you have 60. 4, you have 80. 5, you have 100. Then it deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. This is just a bleed, and you just maintain it. That's all it is. The other stuff is Shiv-related, actually. Arterial Precision is back on the menu, and it is very good now. It got buffed from 20% to 30%, which is a big change. But on top of that, Shiv got a baseline buff to its damage dealt. And because of that, the damage increase from Tiny Toxic Blade actually got moved over to Lightweight Shiv, so it's 100% here and 200% here. This is, however, very strong. Very good stuff. Don't sleep on Arterial Precision. Now, the reason why I pointed out Thrown Precision before was because dashing actually got buffed. So you'll see that at rank 1, it's 1 energy, and at rank 2, it's now 2 energy. That wasn't a thing before. It always was 1 energy. With 2 energy and Thrown Precision, you're actually looking at a pretty high chance to get a lot of energy from Dashing Scoundrel. Always applying weapon poisons doesn't guarantee a crit. However, always applying weapon poisons on a crit means that you are getting way more procs. Way more procs means more chance to crit. More chance to crit means more energy. Therefore, this is a really good AoE option now. And it'll help a lot with your energy, and the damage is actually not that bad either. So, keep that in mind. The other stuff, Sense of Blood, if I quickly take this 2 points, you'll see that it's 1.5 and 3. So this is actually up. It used to be 3% per at 3 points. Now it's 3% at 2 points. That's a pretty big buff to Sense of Blood. This is now a lot more point efficient, and when you're taking Indiscriminate Carnage, this is going to be a really good point. The other stuff didn't change too much. I have another video talking about Caustic Spatter. The other small change here is that internal bleeding now applies on Rupture as well, which means that you will have opportunities where if you are cleaving with ruptures, they'll be just doing a lot of extra damage. I can show that here. So if I, for example, open up on this, now I have a little internal bleeding buff. This doesn't give energy. It doesn't interact at all, right? Venomous Wounds is only Garrote or Rupture, not internal bleeding. But it's free extra damage on every Rupture. So free damage is good. The one downside that we did see is that Dragon Tempered Blades has less application chance now. This is warranted because Dragon Tempered Blades was crazy strong. So this is a nerf to Dragon Tempered Blades, but it is sort of balanced out by the fact that you can now take Kingsbane and Dragon Tempered Blades at the same time. That's a really, really good buff. The other minor change here is that Poison Bomb is actually much bigger now. I will try and get a proc so you can see how big it is. But who knows? There. So this is an area increase of 2, like a radius increase of 2, which comes out to be about a 75% range increase. So you'll be having a lot less difficulty hitting things with your Poison Bomb now, because it's big, it's nice, solid stuff. And those are all the small changes. The class tree has some other stuff, like Shadow Dance is really good, but I don't really know what's going to happen here, so I don't really care about that. Did I forget anything? Nope. All else is good. Improved Poisons is a 1-pointer now, so that kind of got nerfed, but it makes up for it in other places. And that's all the small changes. Right? Should be. If there's another small change, I'll add like a note, like right here somewhere. I don't know. Post editing whisper. We'll add another note. Anyways, bye. Thank you. I hope it helped. Very awkward in live action. This is why I do scripted content. Okay, bye.